Top of the morning. Oh, it looks like I do have a drip. Uh-oh. Tell I've already been drinking coffee. Today what we're going to do is find the best bond to go with the S&P 500 for our benchmark portfolio. Our benchmark portfolio is going to be 80% S&P, 20% bonds. So what bond fund do we use for that 20%? Let's go ahead and find the optimal one. To do that, we're going to run through Fidelity. We're going to go find all suitable candidates. Then we will go load that into the portfolio visualizer, run the efficient frontier, and out will pop a bond fund. It's kind of cool. We start with 1,000 choices or so, and this will spit out a result. Before we get into that, a reminder to everyone, this is for entertainment, educational purposes only. And with that, we'll get into it. So a quick outline of what we're going to do is we're going to first do a Fidelity search. We're going to go navigate to the ETF screen, put in a criteria for bonds, and go grab one less than 150, 149 or less bonds, because that's all we can feed into the portfolio visualizer. We will pull that down to 150. And then once we do that, we're going to output the results to Excel. We will prep the Excel file to be loaded into the portfolio visualizer, and then we will run the portfolio visualizer, load those funds in. I'm going to use the paid version because I can load 150 in and not just 25. We're going to go look at an efficient frontier, and out will come our bond fund. All right, so here I've got actually a dummy count set up in Fidelity to do these searches. So I want to go research, stocks, ETFs, crypto. I don't know why it's so slow. Next, you want to select Screener Tools, and up will pop several choices. We want to use the ETF Screener tool for this one. The reason we choose an ETF screen is so that we can trade it during the day. We could also do the same thing with a mutual fund, but that's got to trade at the end of the day. And we want a basket of bonds, so we're going to use an ETF as opposed to a single bond. We get into this ETF stock screener. We start with 4,628 ETFs. We want to limit that. So the first thing we want to do is go to asset class and just pick the bonds. So taxable bonds and municipal bonds gets us down to 900 or so. Let's go limit the inception date. So we want bonds that are older than 7 years. That gets us, so when we do the search, it goes back before COVID. We need to get this down to 150 minus 1. And then to further reduce it, let's just pick the ones that are big. So net assets, and let's take the ones that are over 2 billion, 2B. And that gets us down to 122, which is great. From here, let's go sort this by symbol. And then we want to go download results. So just download results. And now we have created an Excel file. And then just to recap what we just did, we went into Fidelity, selected news and research. We selected stocks, ETFs, crypto, selected the screener tool, selected ETFs. For the ETFs, we started with 4,600 or so. And then we limited them to bonds, which is 1,000. We limited them to 7 years or older. Gets us down to 300. And then we'll just do the bigger ones, which are traded more often. So 2 billion and above, we get down to 122. It's a fine choice. And then we download the results to get this into Excel. I don't need that top line. Actually, I need a blank. I'm going to put an SPY. And then I want to go down to the bottom and get rid of the Fidelity notes. And then in the second column, I just want to put a 1. So I'm going to copy and paste a 1 all the way up. That gets these guys an equal percentage, and that is it. And then I want to save this as a CSV. First I'll give it a dummy name. I just call it random. We're going to save this as a CSV. That's all we need to do to get it loaded for portfolio visualizer. A quick review of prepping that Excel file. We downloaded the results into Excel. We only want the ticker symbols, so we removed the rest of the data, removed the header lines, added SPY at the top, got rid of the junk at the bottom, and then we put a 1 in the second column all the way down, and then you save it as a CSV. Gave it a temporary or dummy name, and that's all we need to do to get it loaded. Next, we're going to go into the portfolio visualizer. We're going to log into the paid account so I can load 150 ticker symbols. We'll go into the legacy UI. I like that old GUI because it has the symbols and not the names. We're going to load 7 years of data. We're going to set the algorithm to go back 7 years. We're going to upload the portfolio. We'll actually clear the allocation, and then we're going to run that. When we run it, we're going to find equities. We're going to find tickers. We're going to find assets that don't have a full 7 years of history, and we're going to go get rid of those. I know we ruled that out in the Fidelity search, but some still get loaded. This probably gets about 10 of them. And then once that loads, we're going to check out the efficient frontier just for grins, see what it looks like. And then we'll go back up and set SPY to be 80%. So set it, the allocation to be 80 to 81. Go view it. And then we'll look at the tail of the trend, and that'll give us our answer, give us our single ETF that we'll use as the bond fund for our benchmark portfolio. All right, so we are in the portfolio visualizer. We'll select the legacy GUI interface. From here, we're going to go Tools, select Efficient Frontier. Once we get in here, we're going to set the start date to be 2019. That way it captures some of the noise around the COVID era. We're going to load our portfolio, upload portfolio. We're going to choose the file, and we saved it at the temporary name. We'll load that, and you will see that once it loads all our assets, and we're actually going to go clear the allocation because we don't actually want it. And then we will come down here and run this thing. And then we're going to see, we're going to get a bunch of errors. So each of these that come up, JMTG, and we go run it again, and now we got HIMU deleted, FLXR, and I will scroll through these. You don't have to see all of these. Delete, run, and it ran. Actually, it's okay. Alrighty, so the last time it ran, data goes back to February of 19. So the data looks good. You want to check this, and if any of these are limiting our search, you want to get rid of them. And you'll see the efficient frontier. So we've got all of our bonds, and we can see we got the standard deviation, so some are a lot noisier than others, and some make more money than others. And then we've got SPY. So this is what the efficient frontier, and if we look at, we've got different percentages. In this case, it's not all that useful yet. What we want to do is go back up to the top, and we're going to set the minimum weight of the S&P 500 to be 80, and then it wants it to be, you got to have it a range for it to run. Hit enter, it runs again, and now go back down to the efficient frontier. For some reason it's going January 2020, so something is limiting us. Let's get rid of this JCPT, get rid of it and run it again. All right, so now we got 2019 to 2026. We go down here, and it says that if you zoom in and look at this, it says USFR. USFR is our bond of choice. USFR is a floating rate Treasury ETF by WisdomTree. That is the most efficient over the last 7 years, and we will use USFR as our bond fund. So let me go make a note of that. Our fund will be 80% S&P 500 and 20% USFR. And with that, my coffee disappeared while editing here. And with that, I'll bid everybody a top of the morning and see you in the next one. Bye.